So hello guys, for today's video, I already prepped my drawings and my sketches. I did it in advance just so that I could get on with the lovely markers. I was so excited to try these because I loved the first set of the liquid ink markers by Arrtx and I just really wanted to try these out. I saw the bunch of greens that you get in this set and oh my god, they are so nice. I feel like every time I get acrylic markers I'm a little bit disappointed because the green section is kind of whack, but with these I love the like more mossy, more yellowy greens, like orangey greens, and these do definitely resemble the ones that I really like. This chartreuse color, I don't know how you'd say that, but that color is just chef's kiss. It's so beautiful and I had so much fun using it in the drawings that you'll see coming up. I wanted to do a blend test, and as you can see the paper is pilling quite a lot. I did smudge it because I didn't wait for it to dry long enough, but at the same time you can just scrape it off and it's pretty nice and clean. But yeah, here's all the swatches done. You get, oh my god, the 60 colors, they're so nice, and as you can see the greens really shine through. Like they really put in those extra green colors. Like there's quite a few of them in this set and I love it. So here are my two drawings that I did. I actually did these the day before my birthday. As I'm filming it, as I'm recording this voiceover, it's the 6th of December, and yeah, I did these the day before my birthday. I was so excited I couldn't sleep, so I stayed up a little later and I sketched these. And I got this little 100% cotton marker sketch pad, so I wanted to try it out with these markers just to see if there would be kind of a difference with the pilling and stuff. And yeah, I must say these 100% like cotton papers do really affect how the markers or just anything lays on it, and it's actually really nice, and I think it's my preferred paper. It's also a hot press, so there is literally no texture, and that is my favorite. And I'm so obsessed with like the little size of it as well. It's like a little postcard size, so I just wanted to go ahead with them. But as you can see, I'm doing a layering job, so I'm kind of going from the bottom for this illustration. Realistically, it should be going from the top down, but I was so excited and eager to try these greens, so I had to go in first. And I kind of did like a gradient with the darker colors on the left and the lighters on the right, because that's kind of like where I was picturing the light source to come from. It's very loose, it's not anything specific, it's a, you know, a little doodle. The reference for the animal, I don't actually know, is it a yak or something similar? I took it from Pinterest. I just saw like a cute little animal sleeping and I wanted to illustrate it, so yeah, that's what I did. And then I just imagined the background with a bunch of greens and stuff. And yeah, all these little bushes, everything, the markers blend really well, and it was just such a pleasure to paint. And it's actually quite nice that some of the colors like match each other, so even if you're using like a lighter and a darker, they're kind of similar, but also some of the tones are a bit more like less saturated, so they're a little bit cooler toned, and that also helps with the shadows. And then to bring some interest and kind of variation in the colours, I did decide to do orange shrubs. I wasn't really sure how it was going to fit, and yeah, I just went with it, and I kind of actually really like them. They stand out. And for the animal itself, I decided to do it pink because I thought it would be a great way to experiment with some of the extra colours, because this illustration is mainly green and I wanted to test out some of the other colours. So this is usually what I do for my like for my marker reviews is I try and use most of the colors for illustrations, which is why I would always have more than one, just so that I can have like one base with one side of the colors and the other to the other, just so that I can test out as many colors as I can. And yeah, the nibs, when you blend a different color, the nibs do take on little bits of the other color, but it's actually quite easy to get rid of. You just scribble on another piece of paper. In this case, I did use the swatch sheet that I used from the other sketchbook. On the bottom, I just kind of like messed around to get rid of the old color, and it's very easy. It doesn't stain or anything, so the color just keeps flowing. But yeah, I remember using the first set of the 36 colors, and I really loved the liquid ink, just because you don't have to do anything. There's no pumping, there's no squeezing, nothing. You can give them a shake, obviously, with the cap on just before use, so that the ink inside gets distributed evenly, and then after that you're all set and the ink just keeps on flowing. There's no stoppage or anything like that. There's no blocking, and it's actually really nice. I used some pencils to kind of bring out some of the extra shapes and details, and it pairs really nicely. So I do this very often. I do this pretty much in every illustration that I do. I like to add in a little bit of the pencils, and it works. I mean, it picks it up quite nicely. And here is the second illustration that I'm going to be doing. I wanted to do this like cat creature, I don't know, with like these like dragony kind ears, I guess. Not ears, like little antlers. But yeah, I wanted to make this illustration a lot more like cool toned, so like having all the blues. Like I'm gonna experiment with as many blues as I can, pretty much all of the ones in this set plus all the grays, which really, yeah, it turned out really cool. As you can see, I'm doing a lot of blending. I'm using a gouache pad for this, and I must say the paper wasn't too great. It made it a little bit streaky, but I kind of don't mind it. I feel like it just gives extra texture, especially when I scrape off all the extra like pilling bits, as you can see here. But what I did for all of the colors was literally chose one blue and a black, and then just like made kind of like a little gradient with the darkest to the lightest colors to the bottom. And then for the cat creature itself, I wanted to do it like so it stands out with these like grey warmy colours. So I also did the stripes. I don't know, I don't know what I was really picturing. I kind of like took different elements from different creatures and I applied it to this kitty. And yeah, I don't know whether the cat is huge or tiny, but yeah. I also drew this like cape and of course the butterfly element to it, just so that like I can do in extra details and make it really, you know, like extra interest to the piece. And yeah, I love that element of it. So I chose this really bright blue color that I also used for the eyes, and I think it really stands out. I wanted it to be like the main element that you see, and then I also blended out slightly with a tiniest bit of a darker blue. And then I was wondering what to do for the inside of the cape, but because I was using this darker red color for the details in the cat itself, I thought it would be a nice contrast between the blue to use this red, just so that it's, you know, stands out and it's not all the same thing. And then I also made a little bit of a blending lighter color inside the cape as well. And then for the cape, I decided to do basically all the blues, all the greys together, like the lilac-y colours as well, just so that I could test out how they harmonise together. I think when you don't apply too much pressure and like too much blending, any paper will be fine, but I do think sometimes the papers do really depend on how your piece is going to come out, because the 100% cotton paper turned out absolutely stunning. There was tiny bits of pilling, but it wasn't noticeable at all. There was hardly any streakage or anything like that. I feel like it just blended so much nicer as well. But then again, it could be because black is way more noticeable than something like an orange, so the black will reflect more light, which will create more streaks maybe. But then again, I'm not a scientist, so don't quote me on that. But yeah, I really love how this illustration turned out as well, and I'm really happy because it actually looks decent. I wasn't too sure about it because I drew the cat too big, so there wasn't too much of like a contrast between the cat and the background. So I don't know, I was just I don't know, I was improvising and it kind of turned out pretty good. I was worried that the cape will be too same of the colors, if that makes sense, like it just wouldn't stand out, but later on when I add all the extra colors, I think it looks pretty good. I love this like very off-white, very pale yellow color, and I think it really stands out in front of the blue. So it's advertised as better coverage and fewer pen marks. Like I mentioned, I think it's to do with your paper or surface as well as the ink itself. And they are of course waterproof because they're acrylic, so it's basically like having acrylic ink inside of a pen, which is amazing. I love that. And I love how it's not too shiny, because that's my biggest pet peeve with acrylics, is how shiny and plasticky it looks. Whereas for these, it's very much matte for the most part. There are some areas that will look a little bit more shiny than others, but it's not as noticeable. And of course you can use these markers on many different surfaces. I don't have any examples for you guys, but I have been using acrylic markers on my nails. So I'll do a few coats of my preferred nail polish, and then I'll draw little pictures or little flowers or stars or something with a acrylic marker, and then top coat it with a see-through, and it actually works and they hold up really well, and they don't smudge either when you put in the top coat on. I don't know, I've been doing that recently because usually I do gel nails, but gel nails take forever to do. The curing, the constant top coats, layers, everything is just so annoying. So I have been opting for this acrylic markers and nail polish instead, and it's been quite nice because even though they don't last as long, you can still like, it's so easy to do, so quick, so it's, you know, a no-brainer for me. And also don't forget to store these markers horizontally so that the nibs don't dry out. And yeah, that's pretty much the preferred method of storage for most markers, including alcohol markers. So yeah, that's just a little tip for you guys so you don't have to lose your markers. But with that, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. It's a little bit of a short one, but I hope you like both of the illustrations. And yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you so much, Arrtx, for sending these markers to me. I'm going to cherish them and use them wisely. So yeah, thank you and see you next time. Bye, guys.